Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to be commentating over a very short and sweet photo walk that I took the other day while giving you some tips and tricks, as always. But later on in this video, I wanted to touch a little bit on the most common photography question that I get asked. And in some ways, it's very strange that it's the most common question I get asked. And in other ways, I can understand it. But first, let's go take some photos. In the last video I made, I touched a little bit on temporary or unique additions to scenes that make an image overall a little bit more interesting or exciting or flavorful, shall we say. And this first photo coming up here is a perfect example of that. So I notice all these lobster pots along the side lined up nicely, which is a typical occurrence at a harbour. However, the temporary addition to this image would be all these poles and the yellow flags on them and stuff. And the way that it then complements the yellow of the boat in the background there, and of course the yellows that we've got in the grass and the beach in the back. This is colour harmony down to a T, and I think it makes a really nice, pleasing image. Round the corner I spotted this big yellow lorry that's parked up and getting crates and stuff loaded into it, and I'm already thinking about the yellow and blue color harmony again that we're following through from our last image. So I go ahead and I get a few different angles of this. We're starting off with a nice side angle where we can really get the sense of that lorry and the position that it's in, and then the structure behind it with the shipping containers. I get a couple of versions of that angle, and this second one here, I like how the lines on the floor kind of follow the direction that the truck is parked. Moving in for a straight on angle again, we're playing with lines on the floor here to draw us right up. We've got a few different lines going off that take us into that central portion of the frame. And then last but not least, we've got a nice side angle of the truck being parallel to the horizon. Again, I'm just looking at different lines and stuff on the floor here and how these two white lines here almost run into this pole and then create a nice line into the truck. We've also got this big shadow on the floor that leads us into the truck as well. And the addition of them crates being put on the back in this one, I really like. Quick walk over to these shipping containers and boat construction area and stuff like that, where the fishermen must all hang out and drink their coffee and all that good stuff. I've shot this scene before, but again, it was in very moody grey overcast conditions, and the blue sky here really complements the blue on the side of the shipping containers. And we've got all that rust and stuff to add a nice bit of character to the scene. Bit more context in this closer crop version with all the nets and wooden bits and stuff on the side there, which works really nicely. Also really like the addition of all the rope up there in the top left. Moving on round the back of where that yellow lorry was parked, I was kind of drawn to this caution trip hazard sign on this little wooden building here, and I really like how deep the doorway is in shadow as well here. So again, we get a couple of different variants. We've got a bit of a wider one here that shows the shipping containers on the left. We're getting a little bit too close to the top of the frame to leave any space above that lamppost here, so I decide to send it off the frame, which works nicely. And I'm also quite fond of the yellow grid paint that's on the floor. Again, yellow and blue are really the theme of today's photo shoot. And then the closer angle again, just using that gridding on the floor as a little bit of foreground interest, and we're a bit more focused on that trip hazard sign here and really playing with the contrast from the light on the left and the darkness of that doorway, and you don't know what's inside that doorway, which I think always makes quite an interesting image. If you're familiar with my videos here on YouTube, you'll know all about the 360 approach, and this would be my last photo in the 360. Obviously I can't do a full rotation because the water is there and I'm not going swimming, so this is the last shot, just a nice straight on angle from the other side with those crates on the back of the van there. And I think it's nice that the van and the doorway are both in heavy shadow, kind of complementing each other with all of the bright space around it. Okay, so originally I thought this topic would be very boring, but given I get asked this question more than anything, maybe it's not, I don't know, maybe it's just something people are curious about. But honestly, I've had lots of comments on YouTube. I've even had people reach out by email and ask this. And the question is, why do I choose to shoot with the LCD screen rather than the viewfinder? And first of all, long story short is I don't. I'm about 50-50, maybe 60-40 in favor of the LCD screen. However, for those people out there that are baffled by people that shoot with the LCD screen, and I know there are people out there because I even once got a comment saying, Never trust a photographer that chooses to shoot with the LCD screen. And we'll get onto why that's absolutely ridiculous in a minute. There's loads and loads of times in the world where the best angle of your subject, or the angle that you particularly want to take, can't be done from eye height or ducking down, crouching down with the camera where you can still properly use the viewfinder. Sometimes I need to aim down on a subject. Sometimes I need to be higher up than the height of my body, which leaves me with this kind of action where I'm taking a photo from up here and monitoring the LCD. Maybe it's a portrait frame where I'm down below and I'm monitoring the LCD. Lots of shots I take in the real world that are up here, I would require a ladder. So my question would be to anybody that never, ever, ever uses the LCD to shoot is, how do you actually know that you're getting the best angle of your subject? And look, it's a tool to utilize. It's there to use. We can use it. We don't have to use it, but it's on the camera. So nobody is wrong for using it and nobody is wrong for not using it. So let's just go back to the comment that I received that said, never trust a photographer that frames with the LCD screen. And I think that belief is in the same belief as people that say, unless you're shooting in fully manual, you might as well use your phone to take photos, because an incredible photo took with the LCD screen to frame up is still an incredible photo. A terrible photo taken with the viewfinder is still a terrible photo, much like an incredible photo in full auto is still an incredible photo. A terrible photo in fully manual is still a terrible photo. Shout out Kyle McDougall, who actually once carried a ladder on a photo shoot with him because I believe he was shooting with a film camera that didn't have an LCD screen. So he actually took a ladder with him in order to get angles that he needed. And by the way, anyone that's asked this comment before or has messaged me or anything like that, it's totally fine. I'm not calling you out. It's a genuine curiosity, and I appreciate comments like that because it also opens my eyes to thinking about, well, why is it that I do that? Should I be using the viewfinder more? No. Anyway, back to the photos. Heading down the actual pier now, I look over and I'm just admiring the color of the water here, and I spot the fact that there's this nice light and shadow hitting the stairs down into the water there. So I take a few different shots here, nothing really to explain. I just really like the color of the water and the shadows. Nice little detail shots, I guess. Further down the pier, there's a few fishermen just doing their thing. And I really like this one solo fisherman here that's wearing dark clothing, so he's standing out against the boardwalk. And here I decide to use a bit of blocking with this lamppost here. Now it's up for debate whether this is more distracting than having all the distractions in the frame, but down this side here there was loads of other lampposts, shadows, people that I didn't really like in the frame, so I decided to use that lamppost at a shallow depth of field and just cover up any of that mess. And as I'm kind of messing about and framing here, two people walk past me and I fire a few shots off and do catch them walking in, which I think is really nice because I'm shooting at a shallow depth of field and focusing on the fishermen in the background. They're ever so slightly out of focus. So again, in my last video, I spoke about waiting and not chasing photos, and this will be a great example of that, as I know this is a particular opportunity where a lot of people are going to pass, a lot of stuff's going to happen, and I'm in a position already that can make some quite pleasing photos. So I wait around, and in the distance on another section of the pier, this man walks past with his dog, and I take this photo here, which is quite nice, but I'm more interested in the fact that he's going to come around that corner and walk towards me. So I stay posted up kind of in a similar position but a bit further along towards that same fisherman, and he stops to talk to the fisherman with his dog, and I get this frame here. So again, waiting, not chasing, knowing that I've got something potential coming around the corner and sticking around to get that photograph. Now this in the right hand side of the frame is kind of all that mess and chaos that I was cutting out with that lamppost before, but now that we're much closer in, I don't think it has that much of an impact on the image. I'm going to take a photo of the lighthouse, even if it is very obvious and cliche, but I decide I'm going to get up behind these railings. Again, shooting at a shallow depth of field, so those railings are slightly out of focus and all the focus is on the water. water and the little lighthouse. I take a few different variants of this. I'm not 100% sure which one's my favorite yet, but I do like that dark contrast in the front, and doing something like this just adds nice layers to your frame. It makes it feel a bit more 3D rather than one-dimensional. I have a little sit down with Lupin here just to let him cool down a little bit and play in the water for a little bit. And I do like this big shadow on the left-hand side of me here with the railings as well. And then we've got this nice space on this side and two people walk into it. Now, normally I don't really like it when two people walking don't space out nicely, but in this case, I kind of like the fact that the guy's taller than the woman and her foot comes in between her leg as they're both moving at the same pace. Finishing the day up in the sand dunes and on the beach and stuff, it's starting to get really quite warm now and probably a little bit too hot for Lupin, so I don't stick around that much longer, but I capture a few more frames. Again, really nice minimal color contrast in these images, just playing around with a few different colors, which really helps when you're at the beach on blue sky days. I think I mentioned this before. Blue and then the green or the orange that you find normally in coastal locations give you these really minimal color palettes. You might think it's a bit random that I took a photo of this car here, but I'm going to dive into why that is in another upcoming video, as to not make this video too long. At the highest point of the sand dunes that I decide to go to, we've got this nice sandy path that leads very pleasingly right up to that house in the distance. So get this frame here nice and wide. Do like this shot, and then I decide I'm going to go down a bit closer and get a few different variants using the LCD screen. Shallow depth of field again, using some of that grass and reeds in the foreground to give us a nice lead through into the frame, again adding a bit more dimension and depth to the image. Well, I hope today's video didn't seem like I was just going off on a rant and I was annoyed by comments or anything like that, because I really do genuinely appreciate all the questions and comments that I get. And like I said, it opens my eyes up as well to why, and I start questioning, well, why is it actually that I do that? Because I guess you might not think about it, it might just be intuition when you're out taking photos. So it's great to hear everyone's opinions, and I really appreciate you being here and watching, and thank you to anybody that's turning up new, and thank you so much to the returning viewers that have been supporting my channel for a long time. That's going to be it from me. I'll see you in the next one.